King Charles's Scotland coronation, Princess Kate's sons at Wimbledon, and President Biden visits Windsor.
Seeing all those, those powerful men together, sort of having a laugh. They had almost a sort of half hug. If you've seen the photos, they really seem to be good friends in good spirits. I think it's great that they sort of have that support.
Plus, Prince William was sick with worry over Prince Harry's tell-all interview.
Maybe he was cutting himself out from certain people, and those are sort of that she's heard from. I'm sure that there was definitely stress behind closed doors.
And James Middleton is expecting his first child. We've got that plus so much more in today's Royally Us. Hello to our fellow royal lovers and welcome to Royally Us. I'm Christina, that's Christine, and lots of big royal events this week.
It was a very royal week, but I have to say we have another sort of upbeat, light, pleasant series of stories for everyone today. Not too much heavy drama.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So let's get into the comments. Blackfish Art says, I love the quote, recollections may vary. So much I bought a mug with the saying on it. I thought at the time they were the words of the late Queen Elizabeth II. Now that I know it was Kate, I love it more. I think everybody loved that quote and probably it has a little bit extra meaning now.
Yeah, see, I told you there's t-shirts, there's mugs. Everyone loves that. That's like literally a historic quote at this point. And
I love it.
May vary.
Pam Jeffer says, I'm so proud of Kate for stepping up and saying something. She's quite a lady and she's proud of her family. It's time someone in the royal family stood up to defend themselves. They are very hardworking people. Despite all the money that's spent on special events, they also bring a lot of revenue from all over the world. England wouldn't be as great without them. Yes, I'm from the USA. Me and my family love the royals. God save the king. Yeah, it seems like, even though Kate's been a part of the royal fold for quite some time, she's really stepping into this Princess of Wales role quite beautifully, and love to see her, in more royal events.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of personal growth, a lot of confidence coming out of her that we haven't, she's definitely taken her time, really eased into this very public role. And now we're sort of seeing all that patience really pay off.
Yeah, totally. All right, well, let's move on to our royal roundup of the week. And big news, the British royal family stepped out in style to celebrate King Charles's official Scotland coronation ceremony. Queen Camilla, Prince William, Princess Kate were among the senior royals in attendance at the coronation service held at the Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh. The event comes 2 months after that he was officially crowned back in England at Westminster Abbey. Charles and Camilla and William all wore royal robes for the Scottish ceremony, though they were different from the ones that we saw at the May crowning. So rather than sporting the English red flag, red, white, and blue, the royal trio each donned green velvet robes with a royal blue sash. Kate also opted for a pop of color. She sported a bright blue coat dress by Catherine Walker & Co., a garment she previously wore for Commonwealth Day back in March of 2022. Everybody looked very regal, very royal, and a lovely Scottish coronation ceremony.
It was really nice. It's obviously hugely different from the coronation at Westminster Abbey. This is really sort of a literal passing of the torch, passing of the sword onto King Charles as Scotland recognizes him as their king. Really special. Another very royal event. Anytime they're out in the velvet robes, I absolutely love it. I think it feels so regal and really, really special.
Yeah, definitely. And we got this viral moment from Kate. She was caught playfully patting William's butt. This, of course, got everybody talking. Maybe she didn't mean it, but it's nice to see them showing a little bit of PDA.
We saw this on the BAFTA's red carpet. We've seen it at a polo match before years ago. I think they are very affectionate and loving in public. And now they're just, we're seeing them a lot more. They're in the public eye a lot more. I think they're letting their guard down a little bit, but I'm sure Kate was blushing the whole way home.
Oh, I'm sure. What did you think of the fashion this time around? I love, Kate loves to rewear, but I love that she, rewore this outfit from the Commonwealth Day back in March of 2022. So it wasn't really that long ago that we saw this, but she looked fantastic.
Yeah, she's so thoughtful when she rewears things. And you sort of think about that outfit was first worn for Commonwealth Day, which is all about unity, uniting the United Kingdom, uniting, the Commonwealth of Nations, and Scotland, who can sometimes be a bit hot and cold and sometimes really cold about their relationship with England, with their relationship with the monarchy, just sort of it's a very, very subtle reminder of that unity of all the countries that are brought together. So, Kate, sort of her choice in what to rewear from when is really, really creative and thoughtful.
It really is. And a lot of people were wondering, where are the kids? Where are Charlotte, Louis, and George? But they were completing their last week of school. So they had a good excuse.
Yes, definitely. They're probably at school. I mean, I wonder, William and Kate probably went as fast as they could. If they stayed overnight, I would have been really surprised, because it's so important to them to be there for the school run, for drop off, pick up, at least dinner time,
Right.
bedtime. Yes.
I love it. And then, there was a big, kind of a couple days celebration. King Charles also threw a garden party, which we know the royals love a good garden party.
Yeah, this was a great, there are a few Scottish garden parties every year. I think one or two we see throughout the UK. There's one in Northern Ireland every year. They like to spread the garden party love because it's such a royal event. I mean, a garden party with the King of England, that is a very, very special occasion.
Yeah.
So we did see one during this short visit to Scotland. Again, it's all about sort of connecting with the Scottish people, honoring that history and that heritage, and for the Scottish people to sort of welcome the King into their country.
Definitely. Yes. It's nice to score an invite to that one. Well, the king has been very busy. This week, he welcomed the president of the United States, President Biden, to Windsor Castle. The two have met before, but this was the first formal meeting with the U.S. president during King Charles's royal reigns. They shook hands. They watched the U.S. national anthem being played, the UK anthem, and then they inspected the Welsh Guards. Now, this was not a full-blown state visit, but it is very important. The two heads of state will not only get to know each other a bit better, but they will discuss matters close to both of their hearts, which, as we know, is climate change. They both joined participants of the Climate Finance Mobilization Forum, which was hosted by John Kerry, the U.S. presidential envoy for climate, and the UK's Energy Secretary, Grant Shapps. At the meeting, which happened in the Green Drawing Room of the castle, King Charles and President Biden were briefed on the forum's discussions about how to better encourage big business and private finance to help counter the climate crisis. So President Biden is overseas for a few days, and it's nice that they were able to meet up and talk about something that is very important to both of them.
Yeah, and this is, the two massive figureheads for the UK and the USA. Showing up at this meeting, showing how important climate change is for both governments, for both countries, I think really, really sends a message of one, unity, but also the importance of this issue. King Charles feels that climate change is the issue of our time. This is the most important issue of our era. And Joe Biden is obviously a huge supporter of climate change. And sort of environmentalism as well. And seeing all those powerful men together, sort of having a laugh. They had almost a sort of half hug, if you've seen the photos. They really seem to be good friends in good spirits. I think it's great that they sort of have that support.
Definitely. And since this isn't a full-blown, state meeting, that means, or, full-blown state visit, means we're probably not getting the tiaras, anything like that.
No tiaras, no formal ball gown dinner. So disappointing. Maybe next time. Maybe they'll sort of pencil it in for us.
Yes, definitely. Circling back to some PDA from William and Kate, Princess of Wales watched her husband as he took part in the annual match at Guards Polo Club, which is, just a hop, skip, and a jump away from their home at Windsor. And it raised money for almost a dozen charities and causes that are close to the heart of the royal couple. The Royal Charity Polo Day raised over $1.2 million for the charities, and that takes the total amount raised in 12 years to more than $15 million. But a lot of people, of course, were saying that, this double kiss moment was another rare sign of PDA from the two.
Yeah, they're so touchy-feely. This is
something in the air.
I know. This is such a fun event every summer. I mean, Prince William playing polo is always like a feast for the eyes.
Yes.
And Kate always brings a really, really great fashion moment. But I think the real fun is seeing Kate cheering him on and the double kiss and just the way they interact. It's quite a relaxed event. There is press there, but it's sort of not as, they're not as much under the microscope as they are on a really formal royal engagement. Right. This is somewhere in between, an official engagement and sort of an off-duty engagement. And so it's so much fun every year, these summertime polo matches. And I just love seeing them interact. The photos are great. The cheek kiss, Kate cheering him on the sidelines. I mean, it looked like a lot of fun.
It really did. Love to see it. And what also looked like a lot of fun is when they both surprised guests at a celebration marking the 75th anniversary of the UK's publicly funded National Health Service and put the finishing touches on a birthday cake with the help of former Great British Baking Show finalist Alice Viveronia. So during the event, the Prince and Princess of Wales met a number of patients and health workers as they helped prepare for the party, which was just so great. I would love to eat a birthday cake that was decorated by William and Kate.
I know. I love this. This was so much fun. It was such a great event. I think They met with members of staff. People are sort of helped by these charities, and everyone just looks delighted to be there. However, there was a very, very contentious moment in which they were asked if you put jam or cream on a scone first. William diplomatically said whichever one's closest, which is the only answer that I would accept. Kate says jam first. I mean, this has really caused a riot over here. It's really an issue.
The great debate.
It's a great debate. For those of you who don't know, there's a real art to whether you put the jam or the clotted cream on your scones first. And William and Kate sort of at this tea party, at this party for the NHS's 75th anniversary, got into the debate. Kate says she puts jam on first. I just don't know what to say.
You look at her totally differently now.
I do. I really do.
I love it. Well, the Princess of Wales has been very busy. And as we know, Wimbledon is underway, and she arrived in style in this mint green Balmain blazer for the second day of the tournament. She's, of course, an avid tennis player, and a patron of the All England Lawn Tennis Club. We saw that video of her and Roger Federer not too long ago of them playing tennis. They met up again at Wimbledon. And I just always love to see her at Wimbledon, taking her seat, watching the action, and of course the fashion.
Yeah, I think we're likely to see her again at Wimbledon later this week. I did love seeing her with Roger Federer. They're having a chat. They look so cheerful. They're said to be friends. Rumors say that Roger Federer gave Prince George some tennis lessons. Can you imagine?
Can you? Right? Learning from the best.
Yeah, along with the polo, Wimbledon is sort of one of those cheerful, exciting royal events every year. It's somewhere between a formal engagement and sort of an off-duty, visit. And so you get that sort of relaxed atmosphere. It's lots of fun. I love the memes going around where Kate's head is just going back and forth as she's watching the tennis. But I think we'll see her again in the next couple of days. So it's something to look forward to.
Definitely. It's so cool. Well, circling back to Scotland, King Charles was back on board the royal yacht Britannia before his coronation. He stepped out for the first royal week of his reign. He's continuing Queen Elizabeth's tradition of spending a special summer week in Scotland and made a meaningful visit to the royal yacht on his first day there. This was otherwise known as Her Majesty's Yacht Britannia, which launched in April of 1953, 1 month before her coronation. It was known as the royal family's floating residence during its 44 years of service. If you're a fan of The Crown, you know that this was something that was very special to Queen Elizabeth, or just a royal history buff to begin with. She had so many different people on board this yacht, from Ronald Reagan, Winston Churchill, Nelson Mandela. Kind of the list goes on. She and Prince Philip honeymooned on the ship. So it really, as did Charles and Diana. So it definitely has a rich history.
Yeah, it's a really special part of the British royal family, of British history. It's sort of an icon in its own right. And so I think really special that Prince Charles, or King Charles, oh my goodness, King Charles sort of stepped back on it. Everything's full circle. Now he's back on the royal yacht. That was Her Majesty's royal yacht. I haven't heard yet, is it officially His Majesty's Yacht Britannia?
Right.
Now that he's king?
I will have to wait and see, but yes, it's definitely probably a full circle. I'm sure he probably walks on this ship and a flood of memories come back as well. Yeah. All right. Well, let's spill some royal tea. And this is interesting. Charlotte Griffiths, she's the editor at large for the Mail on Sunday. She told GW News that Prince William was sick with worry over Prince Harry's 2021 CBS Tell-All bombshell interview. Prince of Wales reportedly cut himself off from the world in the lead up to his brother's explosive sit down with Meghan. She said, "I've heard this for a long time now from many different sources. In the lead up to that interview, William was quite literally sick with worry. He was not eating, and he became not reclusive, but he definitely was hiding away. He went to a royal residence for a period of time to cut himself off from the world. He was just in bits, basically." Maybe, I'm sure he was probably nervous about what was said, but I don't know if maybe he was cutting himself off from the world. I don't know.
I mean, maybe he was cutting himself out from certain people, and those are sort of that she's heard from. I'm sure that there was definitely stress behind closed doors. We didn't know how this was going to go. What were they going to say? Now that they've done everything else, Netflix and the book and everything, it's less surprising. But at the time, it actually was really, really shocking. And I'm sure William, he's known to have a bit of a temper. He's probably seething behind closed doors. Maybe protect, maybe sort of staying out of everyone's way because he was so, so angry and upset about it.
That's true. I mean, she did go on to say that Kate was standing by her man. She said Kate was like, I've got to stick up for this guy and protect him. He's being destroyed by this, which I can see that. I mean, we've, had reporting that Kate is, very dedicated to her husband and making sure, obviously what we heard, the recollections may vary. She's definitely will let her voice be heard and her support. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure if he was hiding himself from the world, but like you said, at the time, this was the biggest thing that we have ever heard. But now in retrospect, when you look at the book and all the other things that he did, this seems kind of tame compared to everything else.
Yeah, exactly. But I think, maybe they did go up to Anmer, up to Balmoral, just to cool off for a couple weeks. Yeah, I imagine this was just hugely, hugely stressful. But I mean, I do think that what we're hearing about how Kate acted in this, over the last few years is really consistent. She sort of, became a bit steelier, a bit stronger. She sort of had more of a play into all of this business, how they dealt with the situation, which shows that, she is stepping up in her role, which we've seen in lots of different ways. But I think also that she's sort of leaning on her experience and saying, listen, I've been doing this for a long time. I know how the people are, I think I know how they're going to respond to this, and, supporting people with a different, unique point of view.
Definitely. All right. Well, Page Six reported that Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson won't be kicked out of the Royal Lodge home as she undergoes cancer treatment. There was a lot of questions whether they can afford to live there or not, everything that's been going on. They have been living at the Grand House near Windsor Castle outside of London since 2003, when he signed a 74-year lease on the property. However, plans for them to move into Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's old home, which was Frogmore Cottage, they have been put on the back burner to allow Fergie some time to recover after her breast cancer surgery. So a friend confirmed to Page Six that Fergie had undergone a nearly 8-hour mastectomy after being diagnosed with cancer during routine mammogram. So it's not yet what further treatment she will face, but nice that she won't have the worry of moving on top of all of this as well.
Yeah, I think that this was probably it's such a stressful, she said that the mammogram was recent and the treatment was really, really fast. So I think this was sort of upended their lives in a way, as it would anyone's life. But I think the fact that it's all happened really quickly has just put any sort of plans on pause. Yeah. And, the royal family isn't exactly going to be, packing up the moving boxes as she's sort of still being treated for such a serious medical concern. Yeah. I don't think this is the last we're going to hear of this. I think that they will eventually have to leave Lodge, but it is good to hear that she is recovering. From what we've heard, she's doing as well as can be expected, and I hope that she sees good health in the future.
Definitely. All right, well, let's wrap this up with some happy news. Princess Kate's younger brother, James Middleton, and his wife are expecting their first baby. He announced the news on July 5th alongside 2 photos of his wife showing off her baby bump while posing with one of the couple's dogs, writing, "We couldn't be more excited. Well, Mabel might be. It was a very difficult start to the year after losing my beloved Ella. However, we will end the year with the most precious little addition to our growing family." Now, the couple wed back in 2021, and they announced the death of his therapy dog, Ella, via Instagram back in January. So this is definitely a bright spot, to a tough year, because as we know, he is so close to his pup, and especially Ella.
This is such happy news. He does so much work with therapy dogs, pets as therapy, just sort of raising awareness for how special dogs and animals can be as part of just to support your mental health. And to see them, sharing really, really happy news. They were at Wimbledon the next day and Alizé looked absolutely radiant. I never looked that good when I was pregnant.
God, please no. Glowing.
This is just really happy news. Everyone loves a new baby, especially sort of a royally adjacent baby is always really exciting. So I wish them lots of luck and lots of happiness.
Definitely. So exciting. All right. Well, that is it for this week's episode of Royally Us. Everybody keep commenting, keep subscribing, and we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully another week of drama-free news. We like it.
Something to look forward to. Fingers crossed.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Bye. For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.